Hey,
Hi, friends. Welcome to Recovered Two Friends, One Path. My name is Jessica, and I'm an addict.
my name's Kathy. I'm an alcoholic.
We are together tonight because we are going to talk about step 8 and possibly step 9, depending on how fast we get going. And Piper has decided to join us.
Yeah, she's an Al-Anon member.
We love her, and we're so glad she's decided to join us. She usually decides to run from the camera. So, what's up, Piper? We've got a usual thing that Kathy goes through every week, so let's hear that.
Well, let's change it up.
Wow, oh my gosh, I'm so honored. I really am. This is our mission statement. This is how we feel, y'all. This is solely our opinion. Ours. We are not affiliated with any group or program. Our sole purpose is to help others fighting addiction and or alcoholism and to offer help and knowledge of how we stay sober. This is 100% raw and real. We do cuss, we do tell war stories, we do cry, we do laugh, but we do recover.
We do recover.
In the end, we will offer y'all some little helpline numbers that we have, and I've got to get another number. I think it's on some of these paperwork over here for the Heart of Newton that we'll talk about as well.
Yes, we've got a big event coming in June for Haley and her new organization, Heart of Newton. Some of y'all shared my post, by the way. Thank you so much.
Keep sharing it because we need to get the word out.
Yes, because Haley's moving some mountains, and I don't know about you, but I couldn't move a mountain by myself.
She needs a lot of help to do it, y'all. This is they say that hope exists and recovery thrives. I will go ahead and give you their number since I got it right in front of me. It's 470-205-9473. If you're interested in helping out, we have a symposium coming and a lot of other things. So y'all jump in the boat, get involved. It's big time. Also, if you go to either mine or Kathy's page, we also have the link to their backyard grill that we're going to be giving away at the symposium. They're going to have a bunch of fun. I know Kathy and I are going to be there. Y'all can meet us and do.
We're going to be there.
We'll have our own little place. Y'all come by and say hey, show your support, and we'd love to see y'all. So let's jump right into what we were going to do. Kathy, you want to tell them what step 8 is?
I surely will. Let me get my stuff out. Step 8. Made a list of people we have harmed and become willing to make amends to them all.
That's a big one because I don't like to admit where I'm wrong, and especially admit it to someone else who I have wronged. But the number one word in that is willing.
Yeah, this is okay, I'm gonna do it. You know, you're willing to do it. You're willing to go to that person that you maybe wronged in some type of way, and say, hey, you know what, this is what I've done, I will never do it again. And it's cleaning up your side of the street. It's, to me, whenever I first got out of rehab, I was definitely not working the steps as I should, but I did make some apologies that were much needed, that later on, hindsight looking back, I'm so glad I made the reach out calls that I did, saying, you know what, I am so freaking sorry. You know, a couple of people, they hadn't really replied to it. I wrote a couple of letters, and you know, that'll come around eventually. But then, you know, I started going to meetings and learned the steps were in order for a reason. So I'm still making amends, and I will for a long time, because some of them are hard to make. Yeah.
They're
hard to make sometimes.
I found that God sets us up at the appropriate time to make amends. I had a situation years ago where I was going to be my best friend's best woman, and I completely ruined his wedding, y'all. And I got drunk at his rehearsal dinner, and I showed my ever loving freaking butt. And the next morning I was mortified, but I still tried to go to the wedding, and I was told I wasn't allowed to go. And this person I have hurt multiple times in his life. He didn't deserve any of it. And I knew for a very long time I needed to make that amends. And I had written one on Facebook on Messenger a long time ago, but I think he blocked me, so I don't think he got it. And I was working at O'Charlie's in Conyers about 2 years ago, and I walked through the middle of the aisle, and I was a manager, and there sits his mother, and I look right across, and there he sat. And it had been a good 10 years, and I said hello, and he said hello, and his daughter looked up and said, "Daddy, who is this?" And he said, "This is my old friend Jessica." And he said, "Are you happy to see your friend?" And he said, "I'm not mad about it." And at that moment, I was able to talk and give my amends at that time. And it's funny because I had prayed for God to do something in my life and make something better. And he did at the time that it was made to be done. And you will find that sometimes that those amends will happen when God is ready for them to happen. Now, we did not really fix our relationship. I do know when his mother passed away, he did want to talk to me, and he chose not to reach out. And that's okay. That is his decision, because I've learned in life that you are only responsible for the effort, not the outcome. So when people don't take your amends, don't be destroyed about it, and
Because you're just cleaning up your side of the street.
You're fixing your problem, not theirs, and they are responsible for their part. The biggest part about step 8, though, is we're not making amends. We're becoming ready to.
Right.
We're becoming ready to do that.
We're willing
to do it. A lot of us want to go on the defensive about what they did to us, but that's not what's important.
Well, I think whenever a lot of people think, oh, well, amends is just, I'm sorry. But usually, and I'll say this a lot, I say this all the time, there is no but after I'm sorry.
Right.
After I love you.
Right.
After
I forgive you, but.
Yeah.
The but is not involved in any of those fixing relationship problems, because the minute you do that, it 86s the whole thing. It doesn't exist anymore because
somebody told me once, said, "Yeah, I regret it, but," and I said, "There's no, it's ownership.
You either do it or you don't do it, not a but in there.
I'm sorry, but you were treating me like shit at the time. I love you, but, I'm not in love with you. I trusted you, but, you fucked me over. There's a lot that once you say but, whatever you said before,
It doesn't exist.
it's irrelevant. It's like, only thing we remember is the but.
You could give the most eloquent speech in the world and say but, and it's gone. It just doesn't even exist. It says here that when we automatically, when asking for forgiveness for ourselves, why don't we start with forgiving others? When we forgive others too, it's not for them, it's for us. It's for our healing inside. I talked to another friend this morning. Forgiveness does not mean restoration either. You don't have to allow these people back in your life to forgive them. You just move on from the hurt and the anguish and the pain in order to heal yourself. What's it say here? A face-to-face admission of our wretched conduct to the person we hurt. So that is part of your amends, and be willing to do that if at all possible. Be face-to-face. A phone call sometimes is necessary, and we'll go through all the types of amends too later on when we get to the actual part of it.
Because we're trying to incorporate 8 and 9 tonight as much as we can.
They're hand in hand,
and plus we have a bunch of stuff coming up, so we're not rushing, but we're just trying to get these 2 put together and then work on the rest.
Well, we only have a few left, y'all. Y'all hold on. Y'all in here. So we're going to finish these 12. Harm is the result of instinct in collision, which would cause physical, emotional, and mental or spiritual damage to other people. That's what harm is, when you is the result of what you do that causes harm to someone physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and it damages them. I have to admit that I am responsible for that harm that I put on other people.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say that I did that. And then once I am willing to admit my fault, then I have to be willing to fix it.
And don't do it again.
No, that's the big thing. It's almost like, when they say repentance, like turn the other way and don't ever go back. Like, you have to learn from these mistakes, and learning from them is saying, wow, I've done that before. I don't want to do that again.
Right. And people don't understand, it's a total lifestyle change.
One day at a time.
And what I'm not going to call, I don't know what regular drinkers or non-alcoholics, let's just say that. Normies, that's what they're called.
Normies.
Mm-hmm. Normies don't understand the steps, the program, or just our steps, which is for anything.
And anybody, even normies.
Yeah. Just saying. I've had a lot of
few
people.
Gorillas too.
Huh?
Gorillas can benefit too.
A few of them. I've had people tell me I don't understand, the way you live your life, or because I'll tell them, I said, I'm not gonna lie to you, because then I have to go and do all this stuff and end up telling you
I gotta
the
call
truth
my
anyway.
sponsor and tell them what I did. I gotta write it down. Then I gotta admit it to you and them and everybody else.
Yeah.
Then I gotta turn around and tell you and not do it. It's almost not worth telling a lie. It's more work.
Exactly.
It's more work than what it's worth.
And that's what somebody asked me recently, and they said, "Why did you tell that person that?" And I said, "Because it was the truth. You could have just, not said anything." I said, "Well,
that's omission. Omission is also not being truthful."
I'm like, well, I didn't have to, but the person asked me, so I said, okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. Could I have said, I don't know what you're talking about, because there was no proof of it? Sure.
Mm-hmm.
I could have. I could have said I had no clue. Nuh-uh. Nope. It couldn't have been proven.
Right.
But I was honest about it.
Well, you know that. You're the one that has to look in the mirror knowing that you've told a lie.
Exactly. And it's too complicated.
You can drink over that lie.
I can.
And that's the bottom line. Regardless of having to work your steps and do your thing, a small lie could cause you to drink. And that's what we're trying to avoid here. We're trying to avoid anything that can step back into your life and cause you misery or pain.
Resentments, that's the biggest one with me.
It's the biggest one with any of us. Any
the resentment machine gets going in between my two ears. Oh, I could sit there and say, if the old Kathy would have done so and so, and then I'm like, nope. Grant me the serenity. I'll find myself saying that an awful lot, because I could do some vindictive things, but it's not worth it.
It's not in the end, and that's what these steps are for. They help you walk through it easier, better, and kinder and gentler.
Well, I used to want to drive the Karma bus. I didn't want to be passenger. I wanted to be, come on, let go. I wanted to drive it. And I just knew I could do something to hurry Karma to where Karma needed to be. But then I thought, you know what? No, it comes on its own time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why for years, before drinking and stuff like that, I wouldn't interfere with Karma. My name's Earl Changeable.
Mm-hmm.
That show, but I wouldn't. I was like, Karma sometimes just takes a little bit longer, and sometimes it happens really quick.
Y'all will tell you what, God will do to you something I could never do.
Yeah.
In the ways that I could never do it. And I have seen Karma come back immediately. I have seen Karma, like, straight, somebody say something, turn around and walk into a wall. I have seen stuff happen like that that's just like, wow, I could have not done that better. And like God has got you. So just remember when you're angry or resentful that doing something yourself is never as good as how God's going to get them. Sit back, wait, and watch. I've had some really interesting things happen about how money has come back that I gave to somebody. I've had police knock on my door and give me my money back. I've had craziness go down, y'all. So trust me, just sit tight, keep yourself straight, work your steps,
And don't worry
and
about
don't worry
karma.
about the rest of it because
Yeah.
God's got it. You don't have to do anything.
You don't have to drive the bus or want to drive the bus. You don't have to do any of that. All you got to do is stay in your lane, do your stuff that keeps you clean, sober, or whatever your ailment is, and just put your trust in something of a higher power, higher than you. I've said this before, my higher power is God.
Mm-hmm.
God, sobriety, the rest
Everything
of the shit.
Everything else. That's right.
Everything else. You know, I'll never put anything in between God and my sobriety. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. They say, oh, well, I'd put my kids above sobriety. It'd be God, kids. No, because guess what? If you put your kids above sobriety,
You're going to lose them
you're
because
going to
you
lose
don't.
them.
You don't have your
Anything you
sobriety.
put over your sobriety, you lose. Because, you know, you put a job over your sobriety.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guess what?
You may lose it too.
You're going to lose it too because you're putting something over your sobriety and you're of no use productively, mentally, family wise to anyone while you're drunk.
That's right.
So why put anyone above
You shouldn't.
your sobriety? And I don't. I mean,
Good point, Kathy. That's right.
I don't put anything above it. If it's family, okay, that's my sobriety comes first. And people may say that's selfish. Okay, say it. That's fine. I'm a selfish MFer because I want to stay sober.
This is a selfish program.
It is.
Very selfish.
You have to be selfish. You have to guard your shit.
Because nobody can take it away, but you can,
You can
give it
to
away.
them on a silver platter.
You can give
Here
her your
you go.
sobriety, your peace, your happiness. So, Kathy, let me ask you a question. Where do you find all these people you need to apologize to?
Well,
Your fourth step. Your fourth step is what is.
oh, I thought you meant from an investigator point.
no.
I'm sorry, I was thinking my other career. I
No.
was about to say.
You're
well,
talking sobriety. So you find all of your people that you need
Yes.
to apologize to in your fourth step. Once again, that's what it's for. So you go back and look. You will in time also find other ones and remember them. So what you do when you come up with another, oh, I remember that. I messed somebody up.
Mm-hmm.
You need to fourth step it, if possible first. Call your sponsor, tell them, bounce it off another alcoholic. It doesn't matter if it's your sponsor or not. Then make your amends if possible. You know, if you see somebody you haven't seen in a long time and you just want to say, hey, look, I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings that day at school. Like, cool, do that. But a big one, you need to make sure you talk to somebody first. But throughout your life too, you're still going to make mistakes. You know, I heard at a meeting one night, a gentleman had gotten mad at a clerk at a grocery store and got in a huge fight with them over something and got very mean, and realized by the time they got home that they owed that person an amends, and got in the car and drove all the way back to the store and apologized to that individual and was like, look, I owe you an apology. What you did was not wrong. I was wrong. And that's what this program is about, is immediately fixing things that you messed up, because you're still going to make mistakes. We are still human beings.
Oh, yeah.
We're still going to get upset. We may still yell at somebody. We may still cuss somebody out. Not what we should, but we might. And if you do find yourself doing something that is not exactly right, you have to still fix that. You still need to go and apologize and clean up your side. And that's where your step 11 will come in, and we'll talk about that another time. But you have to, look at your day.
And amends throughout your life. I thought of one the other day. I was talking to
Bless you.
excuse me, I was talking to one of my friends and they were saying something about court, and I said, oh yeah, Judge so-and-so, and I mentioned the judge that Scott and I had during our divorce. And I was like, yeah, I probably owe him an amends. And that's something I've got to do is I've got to, you know,
Write a letter.
write this judge a
Write
letter.
a letter. That is the best way to do that one. Thank you for opening the door to that. In step 9, there are ways to make proper amends.
Yes, there
That's
is.
why your sponsor is so important in this step, because you'll have your list on step 9, and you will be able to sit with your sponsor and say, okay, I punched my sister in the face on Thanksgiving. And your sponsor will help you decide a way to make an amends to that person. So, Kathy, what's the first way to make amends?
Face to face, direct.
So how does that happen?
Well, that's when you get in touch with someone that is on your list. Resentment, sex, anger, whatever it is that
you owe them an apology.
That you owe them an amends for. And you sit down with them and you say, you know, this is what I done to you. I took your car out for a joyride, and you know,
you never knew I did it. I put the gas back in it.
I did it, but I done this, and
I won't do it again.
I won't do it again. Because while I was doing it, I got a ticket, and you know, there's a lot of variables you can throw in there, but basically, I'm not going to do it again.
Leave the butt out.
Yeah.
And only cover what you did.
And you clean up your side of the street, and oh, is that where that scratch came from? Is because you joyride? You asshole! And tell you to go the hell on, that they still want to hold that resentment from 20 years ago. That's fine, because you don't have that resentment. You made your amends.
But you also don't want to tell somebody something that's going to cause more harm. So there are other types of amends. We have the financial and material restitution.
Yeah.
So if she caused a scratch in somebody's car, she would fix the scratch. And
or if you've ever stolen something,
replace it.
Replace it.
The money, the Chanel lipstick or whatever, you give it back to them.
And sometimes you don't have the money to do it, but you do it. I've heard this from various people about a guy who he had stolen from Kroger for years. Food. I don't know if we're allowed to say a grocery store.
A grocery store.
For years. And he couldn't financially give that money to him, but he would go and get their cars out of the parking lot and take them inside. This was, back years ago probably. But that was his part of the amends, was he would go up there so many hours a week and do that. And
that's actually a cool amends. I like that.
I've heard it in groups for a while.
I like that type of amends.
But, yeah, I mean, financial amends, hey, I took a couple of $100 from you 20 years ago. They may say, well, you know what? Keep it. Pay me $5 a week.
I make a financial amends right now. I make one that's my own personal business that nobody else but that other person knows about. And I make it a financial amends. I've been doing it now for about a year and a half. And I was very, very resentful towards this person for a lot of reasons. And in some ways I had a right. But I did owe somebody quite a bit of money that I've been paying off. And, nobody else even knows what it is. It's the first time I've even talked about it, in front of anyone. But what it does for me is it makes me know that I am fixing my part in that situation, and that
because that's all you're
I'll be
responsible for.
Free from it once I pay that off. And that because for a long time I didn't believe I owed it back. I was like, I'm not paying that. I am not paying that. I don't owe that person a single dime. They did this, and this. And So today, it had eaten my lunch for years. And one day I called this person. I said, "Look, I owe you this money back, and I'd like to give it back." And they were like, "Well, give it to me however you want." So I paid little bitty pieces at a time, and um, it makes me feel like I have accomplished something on a spiritual level, that I have done something to help pay back somebody that I don't even like. And it's very cathartic and
Yeah.
amazing to be able to do that. There's indirect amends.
If someone's possibly deceased, unreachable, or it could cause harm.
So what are things you can do?
Well, you can write a letter.
You can also you could
What?
go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
You can donate money to charities
Yes.
in their name or in yours. You can
do service work.
Service work is
That
big.
would help. You know,
that grocery cart thing is a service.
Yeah. Well, he was doing it more of a kind of trying to pay off my debt type thing, where he had stolen groceries. But to me, the letter, that's a hard one, you know, especially to deceased family members. It's not, to me, it helped me because I was able to write down exactly how I felt and how I held resentments towards people for nothing other than them leaving me, for dying.
Mm-hmm.
Like they chose it. Yeah, okay, yeah.
But we are human, and we don't straighten things out properly in our minds sometimes.
I held resentment just because they died, and I'm like, you freaking left me.
I felt that way too.
It took me a long. Actually, it took doing these steps for me to realize I had a resentment towards my best friend Donna because she died, and I felt alone, and you know, stuff like
but
that.
Today you don't feel that way.
No. Now I see signs of her a lot around here.
Donna's a good lady, man. I love Donna.
I miss my Donna.
I know you do. I always enjoyed spending time with Donna up at the bar. She's good people, man. Good people. So there's also a living amends, where this is a long-term commitment to changing your lifestyle. So, like for me, my living amends is to my children. My older children, I have 3 sets of kids. I got the big kids, the middle kids, and the little kids. My big kids and my middle kids suffered through a very tragic childhood due to my addiction, and I now make a living amends to my smaller children, to my bigger children, through my smaller children, that they will never have to live the life that my older children lived, and will never have to see that mom. And I show up today. I'm a present parent, and I do the best I can to provide for them. You know, there were times that Sophia wore clothes that didn't even fit her because I was getting high and buying clothes. And so now my other kids have closets full of clothes. And I mean, I go out of my way to try to be the mom for them that my older kids didn't get to have. And that is a living amends. It's not just changing one thing for one day. It's actually changing your entire life due to a mistake you've made. Not saying a certain word, like if saying GD hurt somebody's feelings one time, you never say that word again. That's a living amends. Mm-hmm. You don't go back on it. You don't say it no matter what. Those are types of living amends, and those are done for people like that are deceased, or for like my older children. That's the only way I can apologize, because I can say I'm sorry all I want to, but that doesn't change what I did. So what I do is try to be present now, and I can't promise them a changed past, but I can promise them a better future, and I can change what I've done and be there for them now. And that is the things that I do today to work a living amends.
I guess I do a living amends with a few people, and a lot of it is just me just staying sober by doing the steps.
That is number one.
You know,
Staying sober is a living amends to everyone that your alcoholism and addiction touched.
yes, because there's some, I have a few that I'm still praying on. But my living amends is I'm not out there blowing shit up. I'm chill here, minding my business in my lane. I don't mess with nobody. I don't entertain the gossip or any of that stuff. That's me doing what I can to stay sober and show the people that I want back in my life, hey, I'm not that person.
That's right.
And to keep the ones out of my life by saying, I'm not that person.
There you go.
The ones that I want back in my life, I'm showing them. The ones I don't want back in my life, I'm like, you may have used to be able to do this, but
Today,
sober
not
Kathy, not so much. Her bullshit detector is pretty on point. Just saying.
Well, we were manipulated a lot too, and I'm not saying that makes it okay, but we were manipulated a lot as addicts and alcoholics. I'm going to tell you the one thing I think that hurt me the most, and I can say it today without crying. My mom told me that she enjoyed me better as an addict because I would do more for her and she could control me better. And I mean, she was honest about it. She was just like, look, when I could give you some pills to come clean my house, I liked you a lot better. And I'm like, wow, thanks. There's one more type of amends, and it's a mediated amends. And, that's a mediator with a third party. You get with a counselor, a sponsor, a pastor, a family member, and sit down and have to
priest,
somebody that can help you make an amends without an argument and lead y'all to some type of understanding. Because sometimes things are very heated, and sometimes things have to be taken care of because, once again, those types of things can lead you to drink. So it has to be done at some point, and if you need someone to help mediate that, don't be afraid to ask a sponsor, a pastor, a priest, a friend, a mom, somebody to be there, and a neutral party usually to help work out the issue.
But always remember, safety first.
Safety first is 100% the most important thing, that you're not going to get shot, or that people aren't going to get hurt, or nobody's getting run over, and to try to keep anger at bay. You don't want to go up to somebody and bring up the past and be like, hey, I'm sorry I slept with your husband. I'd probably just be like, I'm sorry if I hurt you. There's ways to do it. You don't necessarily have to admit everything you did, because sometimes people don't know what you did.
Sometimes it's better to let something dogs lie.
Let sleeping dogs lie.
Yeah.
Let sleeping dogs lie. But if it is eating your lunch, but for sure, talk to your sponsor or somebody that can help you decide how to handle it, because that's why we have sponsors and friends in Alcoholics Anonymous, because we are able to talk and get opinions. And if you don't necessarily agree with the first one, you can ask somebody else. Somebody else is willing to give you their opinion as well.
Just don't sit there and seek out someone who's going to give you what you want to hear.
Oh gosh, that's so important, Kathy. I'm so glad you said that. Don't ask 20 people because you're waiting for somebody to give you the right answer.
Right.
If you don't necessarily agree with your sponsor, you can ask somebody else, but I would leave it there. If that person tells you that you were wrong by sleeping with your brother-in-law, you're probably wrong. All right. You don't want to make any further harm. And what does that say?
Safety first. Detachment.
Oh, the detachment of outcome. Okay, that is also the most important thing, is to not be upset about the response you get from the person you make an amends,
because you can't control what other people think, what they say, You can't control that. Some people are gonna forgive you. They're gonna say, you know what, you're doing so good. I'm so glad that you finally
Or
got
thank you for
clean."
finally apologizing, or
You know,
whatever. But there are going to be people who are not going to let it go. And guess what? It's not your responsibility. You are only there to clean up what you did. I've said it once and I'll say it again. You're responsible for the effort and not the outcome of your amends. You know, my friend I talked about, I haven't heard from him again, and I probably will not. And rightly so. I deserve it. But I know today that I did do my part and that I apologized, and I think he knows that I meant it, and I think he knows that I am serious about changing my life. But just sometimes I, I've hurt somebody too much that they just don't trust me, and I have to understand that that was my doing. That was not theirs. That was something that I did. And no matter what, sometimes they're not going to forgive you, and that's okay. But guess what you can do? You can forgive yourself. And you can say, I don't want to ever do that to somebody again.
and you know, by doing that and not repeating the same behavior as before is showing that your sanity is back.
That's right. It's not insane behavior and not being insane. And that leads to the 9th step promises.
Ooh, yeah.
The 9th step promises. Let me find them and we'll read them.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and read step 9 because we've already kind of went on to the different types of amends. Step 9: make direct amends to such people whenever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others.
Which we've covered all of that, and that is exactly what it is.
And like, I cannot stress this enough. Safety first. If you feel, oh well, I've got to go make an amends to this person, but you're really unsure how they're gonna react, then you should probably not do it alone, or at least do it another way. Because you know, I've heard stories about people going up and saying, you know, going up to husband and wives, and a man comes up and says, hey dude, I'm sorry I slept with your wife 25 years ago, please forgive me. And then that guy just had a really shitty day and just boom, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to go in there saying that you have to get this done because otherwise you're going to drink. No, you got to, whenever harm, you've got to consider that harm, there's different ways to go about it, is what I'm trying to get at. It doesn't have to be the direct amends.
Talk to somebody else about your amends before you do it. Do not do it out of order. And have someone help you either decide how, when, or where, or why, if you haven't already had somebody in your face to make the amends. And like I said, you know, people will pop up. You'll run into your cousin Lizzie at the grocery store that you owe an amends to. You know, and if you're on that step, by all means, do it. But, you know, make sure that you try to work these things out with your sponsor first. Don't just jump into an amends because you happen to run into someone. So this is the 9th step promises. By the time you get to these steps, you're going to start changing and feeling differently, okay? You're going to start seeing life differently, and you're going to start feeling differently about your life. If we are painstaking about this phase of our development, we will be amazed before we're halfway through. We're going to know a new freedom and a new happiness. We will not regret the past nor wish to shut the door on it. We will comprehend the word serenity, and we will know peace. No matter how far down the scale we have gone, we will see how our experience can benefit others. That feeling of uselessness and self-pity will disappear. We will lose interest in selfish things and gain interest in our fellows. Self-seeking will slip away. Our whole attitude and outlook upon life will change. Fear of people and economic insecurity will leave us. We will intuitively know how to handle situations which used to baffle us. We will suddenly realize that God is doing for us what we could not do for ourselves. Are these extravagant promises? We think not. They are being fulfilled among us, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. They will always materialize if we work for them. And that, my friends, is how it's done. And you become willing, you make your list, you talk to somebody about how you're going to do each and every one, you execute them, and then your life begins to change, y'all. And that's what all of this is all about, is getting close to step 12 and having a spiritual awakening upon the steps. And it changes your whole life. These steps are a pathway to a God of your understanding, which helps you stay sober. You never want to drink again. You'll recoil from it as if it's a hot flame. You won't want it. Like, you really don't. Like, you go from being this sick, sad, tired, beat up person into someone who becomes sane, happy, joyous, free, and excited about the new phase of their life. And like I said, it's free, but it's a lot of damn work, ain't it?
It's free, but it's good.
It's gonna work for it. You're gonna work for it. But guess what? The rewards are bigger than anything you could ever buy on this planet, y'all.
It is.
Peace. Oh my gosh. That's something you can't buy. Peace. Love, freedom, happiness, joy, understanding of yourself fully. Look at this beaming face over here. Y'all know it. I'm telling the truth because this is my sponsee, and I work with her every day, and I talk to her every morning. I wake her up, and we talk every single day about these things. And guess what happens? Upon these steps, you start to change, and then people see it, and those forgivenesses do happen because they're like, "What happened to her?" You know, they see
people.
They see this Kathy that they didn't know before, and they're like, "We knew she was there all along, but you know," and here she is, owning what she did to me, and wow, holy goodness. I agree though that the letter is my favorite. The letter is my favorite way of doing it because I too am a very eloquent writer. And
I'm not. You couldn't even read my handwriting.
Well, no, you can't read my handwriting, but I'm an eloquent writer. And I am able to express myself better than talking to someone. And I'm able to get things out easier without, I'm a big person that opens my mouth too much. So maybe I should start to learn to shut it. That's something I got to learn on. But, and I can admit it, but writing, I'm able to express it.
See, I like direct. And the reason I'm like that is because I think it's a sincerity thing.
Oh, I can read it to them and be direct.
Right. To look someone in their eyes. And that's something, any kind of decision, I want to give that person enough respect to look them in their eyes and say, hey, you know what? Whatever you're doing, I want to be able to look them in their eyes and do it. And show sincerity. Yeah, even if it's just you're wanting to put in your 2-week notice. You could do it over email or whatever, just not tell them and just up and not show up for work. Something like that. But I am now the type, I want to talk to you face to face. That way they know I'm sincere.
Still write the 2-week notice, by the way. Write it out. Be professional, but talk to them face to face.
Yeah, now I would be like, okay, this is my 2-week notice. I want to hand it to you face to face and not just email it to you because.
Well, now we're face to face people. We don't have to hide behind that anymore.
Right. Not that I've done that or anything like that.
Well, I have. I was an addict, and I wasn't gonna let anybody see me face to face. So I would write letters. I would send text messages. And I'm a face-to-face person today.
I am today.
Mm-hmm.
Back then I didn't give a shit. I'm like, whatever. Now I want to do it face-to-face because it's a respect thing. It's working the steps,
It's respecting yourself.
It's respecting yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, well, not a lot of times, sometimes it's better to not do a direct.
Do I taste good?
Sometimes whenever a direct amend is not, it's not even a possibility, anything like that.
Safety. If it's not safe to be in front of this person, writing a letter would be smart, y'all.
Yeah, but the living amends to me is probably my biggest, because yeah, I write letters, stuff like that, but doing service work and staying sober is my biggest amends to anyone that
That you
I
done
have
something.
I have hurt.
Now, there is something to be said to that, though. The living amends is important when applicable, not just when you don't want to make the amends.
Right.
You don't say, okay, well, I'd just rather not make this amends, and I'm just going to live by never doing it again, just because you don't want to.
Right.
When that is the answer because of hurting someone or because they are no longer here, that is an acceptable way to do it.
Or if you're going to be in harm.
Right.
You know.
But if this is just something you don't want to admit to, you're not healing yourself
Right.
or your side of the or your side of the street. If it was something stupid like, that you had, kicked your brother in the face, like I said, when you were 5, that's a face-to-face amends, and not kicking somebody in the face for the rest of their life is not an amends for that type of thing.
Right.
You should definitely talk to them. So they are each one has its own important spot, and that's why you got to talk them out with someone, because it's not fixing your problem by just avoiding them.
And with the people that are gone, deceased, that is my living amends.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's how you do it.
I write letters, but that is my living amends, and it's respect again to me. It's for, in my eyes.
I always recommend a letter during a living amends too, like if someone you can't get to or heard whatever,
right.
to write the letter as well. You need to write it, get it out, because you can't talk to them. You should read it to your sponsor if you can, and then you do the living amends.
And that's hard work.
It is.
It's hard work, but it's so worth it.
It's admitting your fault to somebody else and God, and then staying away from that type of behavior, and that is a living amends. Mm-hmm. It's not easy, y'all, but
it's so worth it.
It's so worth it in the end, but it's not easy. And we want to tell
nothing in life worth having is easy.
That's the truth. That is the truth.
If it comes too easy, I want to know why. I want to ask the questions. Why is it so easy? I want to sit there and dissect it, because it can't be that easy. It's too good to be true type thing.
Well, some things are too good to be true, and some things are easy. Thank God. But
thank God.
But amends usually are not. So don't get discouraged. Don't get upset. One at a time, please, and with the help of somebody else.
And one day at a time. Mm-hmm. That's what. Just one day at a time.
And y'all might hit a few that are really good. You may go through like 2 or 3 that people are loving and hugging, and oh my God, this is amazing. And then you hit one where somebody's like, you know what, I'm done. And don't get discouraged. Know that you have done your part, and know that amends is clear in your head, and you live by the amends you made. And that is all you can do. In time, some people see the change and they say, you know what, they were changing. They did do something different with their lives, and they go with the amends. So don't get discouraged if somebody doesn't take your amends. And remember that you do deserve whatever you get back.
Well,
that some of these things are unforgivable, and just know
right.
That. Some of these things are unforgivable, and just know that. But know that you have to do this in order to have healing and clearance on both sides.
Well, something to always keep in mind: you never give someone what they deserve, what you think they deserve.
No, absolutely not.
You give them what they need.
Right.
Because if I got the life now that I should deserve because of my past behavior,
right?
Yeah, no. Had I not changed my life, by all means, I deserved everything. But
right.
I changed. I don't do that again. But that's where a lot of people have a hard time. Oh, I hope they get what they deserve. Well, I hope they get what I deserve.
Right.
Love, peace, happiness,
Joy, freedom, all
anything that I want in my life, I pray 3 times harder for someone who's done me wrong to have the exact same thing.
Because one day you mean it, right?
Because one day I will eventually mean it.
And guess what? It has happened for me multiple times. You know, I've prayed for these people for years. I still pray for this one girl daily, and I've done it and done it and done it and done it. And it's just become part of my life. And today, I mean it. I hope that her life is fabulous and that she has figured out her life and that she is sober and that she has got her understanding and that life is wonderful. And I still pray that for her every day. And I haven't seen her, heard for her, can't remember her last name to even look her up. But you know what? I hope that for her. I really do. God bless that girl, please. And just remember that, you know, you want somebody to feel your compassion, your love, your peace, and your friendship and your kindness, no matter what.
Because that's what comes first.
Mm-hmm.
That, hands down, if you don't have all of that, you're miserable.
Mm-hmm. That's 100%.
And misery loves company.
Don't do amends you're not ready for. Don't do it if you're not ready. You know, there is nothing that there is a time limit on these.
Mm-hmm.
There's no time limit. You know, if you're not ready and you're not healed enough to do it where it's going to be your side of the street only, don't go walk up to somebody and say, you know what, I'm sorry for what I did and I still hate you too. That's not going to do you any good.
No.
So wait until you are ready, and that goes back to talking to somebody else about it before you do it.
Yeah. Well, we're running close to an hour, and I still want to talk about Haley's event.
We'll talk about it. Tell them about it. Let's go.
All right. That's going to be the 13th, I believe. Look on that paperwork.
Is it over here?
June 13th. It's on a Saturday. I want y'all to go like, share, whatever, to Haley Horton Newton. Again, she's doing some wonderful, wonderful things. These tickets, from what I understand, are still being sold.
Look on our pages. You'll find them. You'll find our posts.
And one thing, well, you go ahead for a minute. I'm going to read this.
Heart of Newton is run by Haley Sherlock, and she is opening an RCO here in Newton County, and it's a recovery organization that's independent nonprofit and is led and governed by representatives of local community of recovery. So that is peer support people, as people who have been there and done that. Everyone on their board is a recovering person. Everyone who works there is recovering at this point. We provide peer-based support services, public education, advocacy services, inclusion, and they just want a community where recovery flows freely and every person has a chance to heal and thrive. So when we get to this is going to help them to do the work they want to do.
Right.
You can't do it without your help, you know. There's a couple of meetings they have.
I think the next one's 4:30. April 30th.
April 30th.
I will post closer to the time.
Show up and you know, you get a say.
Support.
You get a say in whatever we do. That this is a community event led by the community, so we want y'all to come out and say, hey, this is what we want.
And you don't have to be in addiction to support, to help. You know,
you just got to be a caring person.
You may know someone, a neighbor, a coworker, a friend, a family. You know, that secret family member that nobody talks about, that you
want to support and help,
is battling, and
or lost someone.
I know there's someone that knows someone that knows someone, and you don't have to have the disease we have in order to help Haley. And that's where a lot of people get things kind of mixed up as, oh, I don't want to affiliate with nothing recovery, because that may put me as one of those alcoholics or addicts and their noses are turned up. No.
No, you can just support somebody who is, and all that does is show love for your community and those people. These tickets are for sale. They're 1 for $20, 3 for $50, or 8 for $100.
Mm-hmm.
And they're gonna raffle off this Backyard Beast 1200, y'all. It can be yours. So y'all come out, show out. The winner is announced Friday, May 8th. And we're excited to have y'all come to the symposium. I'm gonna be on the panel answering questions about MAP medicine. So, you know, there's a lot of stigma around MAP medicine. People talk a lot about it, but if you want to know something about it and learn something about it, we may actually have a show on it. But come and hear about it and see what you think. I'm not sure exactly what the rest of the panel is going to be on, but all of that will be announced later. And we look forward to seeing y'all there because we will be there. We've got some fun giveaways that we're gonna have.
Yes, we're gonna have some giveaways, and we'll have our scan code for or other platforms. Yes, and overall, just come and show some support. Haley's went.
They're gonna feed us. We're getting dinner for free.
Yeah, it's an all free event. All free
event for the community.
Amici's is catering. Yeah, Amici's is catering. We're gonna have some stuff there, fun for the kids to do, some coloring. So bring the kids.
Yeah, it's an all ages event. Bring
Yes.
everybody. And y'all come out and just show your support, show some love for the community, because if you live in Newton County, this is going to benefit every bit of this county.
Even if you don't live in Newton County and you just want to come out and support, just in general, come on. I have people in Walton County, you know. I mean, I'm talking.
Rockdale County and Newton County are almost like sisters, you know.
Yeah,
and we do a lot together because we are so close together. Walton, Rockdale, and Newton are a tri-county. Y'all all come out and show your support so we can support y'all with stuff. Y'all let us know.
Also, a friend of mine, she's actually talking to Haley about second chance employment. You know, employers that do offer second chance, because some people you're an alcoholic,
You've been in prison, you've been in prison, you got this, we don't want to hire you. Second chance employment is huge, y'all, because it helps somebody, family.
And professionals that can even help people on their resumes whenever they get out. Stuff like that. Stuff that other people know how to do so easily.
And there may be a job for you to get
share.
involved on too in there, y'all. Y'all never know what God's got planned for you if you just show up. You never know.
Yeah.
So
all right, let's get the helpline.
We got some helplines, people. We got 1-800-662-HELP. That's 1-800-662-4357. Findtreatment.gov, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. No money, no excuse. Call them. We have a Kratom helpline, which is 866-210-1303. The Suicide Crisis Lifeline is 988. We have a CARES Warm Line, 8:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. That's 1-844-326-5400. That's to talk to a peer like you, to help you find any kind of services you may need. In the heart of Newton is 470-345-6394.
Yes.
That's a lot of numbers.
That's a lot of numbers.
But there's guaranteed to be somebody to help you at one of them.
Exactly.
Come on, Pipe. Let's pray.
Oh, now she gonna leave once it's time. Come on.
Come on.
Come here, baby.
Here she comes.
Come on. Here's my baby.
All right, let's pray.
All right. Let's get the papercino.
God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
Amen.
Nobody's told you today
that they love you?
We do.
Remember, we do.
All of us. We love y'all.
Even Pipey.
We'll see y'all next week.
All right.